Hello, folks. What it is that I've noticed things, I observe things, I watch history. 100 years ago, back in 1908, Jack Johnson was fighting for the heavyweight champion of the world. Uh, however, Tommy Burns was the heavyweight champion at the time. He avoided Jack Johnson at all costs. He made sure he avoided Jack Johnson because he knew he was at a major disadvantage. What happened on December 26th of 1908, Jack Johnson and Tommy Burns, because Jack Johnson would go to every one of his bouts and would show up there and taunt him and talk loud about him and insult him all during his fight because he wanted to fight him. Jack Johnson at the time was like the Negro heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, he beat everybody that was black, and so he was the top of the chain of the black line food chain, and so he wanted some of the white folk. He wanted to show, hey, look, you're not really the heavyweight champion. You haven't fought me yet. So eventually, on December 26th of 1908, Tommy Burns ended up giving him a shot at the title. And I guess it was when he went to Sydney, Australia, it was like the last straw because he really insulted him. And Tommy Burns basically took that very, very seriously. Now, I have video of this fight. And it was a pretty tough fight. Back then they fought, 40 rounds of fighting and whatnot, and they could go up to 40 rounds. But this particular fight, I think went maybe 15 rounds, and they were 3-minute rounds just like any other fight. But in this particular fight, when Jack Johnson, who was the bigger man, who was like maybe a 30-pound advantage, and about 6 inches taller than this guy was a little heavyweight champion. But right before this guy could beat him, they stopped the fight. Now, I'm going to show you some of this fight. And you know what it is, I'm going to show you some of this fight. And they got this commercial on here because they're thinking I want to see this crap. Okay, anyway, but as a result, this particular fight went for, I think 15 rounds. And so here's some of the fight here. Now, just before he gets knocked out, let me move it up some.
Lefts and rights which have Burns helpless. At this very moment,
right there,
seconds of round 14, the police shut off the motion picture cameras and stepped into the ring, awarding the heavyweight championship of the world to Jack Johnson.
Now, the reason why they did that,
you can see the blister.
They didn't want this man being seen knocked out by a black man. Now, after they gave this man affirmative action for all these years, he had to fight a black man. They had to shut the camera off to hide it from everyone. Now watch, the camera will stop and it'll shut off because he was getting beat to a stew. And like I said, the thing is, that's something I just wanted to show. This is Black History Month. So Jack Johnson came to mind with this presidential election. What I see in this presidential election is a guy who has an advantage over his contemporaries. I'm going to go to a part 2 here.